there is our North American lobby. Let's look for some colors to stand out that people want to watch. Summit 1G down in a light orange, heading towards the weapon table. Grimm's in a yellow, heading up towards the top side. And they're all dashing themselves into the plane. So, let's see where it heads. What's the spawn options? What are the possibilities for these players? Not too bad. Not too bad, to be honest. It's coming east to west. It's a little on the southern side. Players that like to drop out, grab a car and head far north will have a lot of things to choose from. Players that want to get aggressive early, fight each other and fight anyone they find right from the start can go straight to the floor and get weapons out of the game to begin with. Players that just want to go as far as the parachute will take them and see what happens, they're not going to be starved either. Things along the coast, there's plenty of sporadic buildings. The military island is currently untouched. It's not a bad option.
Looks pretty much like the first game.
Yeah.
Or the second one.
Yes, like the second one. Smack and Viz are two heading north. We do have Tim the Tapman, Dr. Disrespect, Manpons heading right down into Lipovka as a foursome. Down on the coast, Linden FPS is headed with Richard Hammer and friends down to the southern tip of the island. Definitely a lot more grouped spawns here from North America. Pachinki, you can see, is already filled with players. I believe that's Little Lexi, Eddie Monster, Roids, and Pundy Stick. Diesel, Optic, Diesel, and Miss May tucked off to one side of it as well. And straight into the Lipovka containers go the Doc and Tapman. Doc picks up the M16. Tapman's got himself a frying pan, but Manpons has an M416. Dreaded Cone still yet to pick anything up, but there are weapons in play now in Lipovka. Meanwhile, if we have a quick look over at Pachinki, see what the 6 teams over there are doing, because there's already flashing red. Punji Stick and Lexi fighting in a house, and Lexi wins. Pistols down Punji Stick, but has an AKM to play with too. Royce is going to come in and try and save him, but nope. Punji Stick is the first man dead in North America, and Royce tries to come in to save the day with his M1911, but gets chased up the staircase. Lexi still has this AKM in hand, and Royce is stuck inside. Top of the stairs, does third person around the corner and pick her off. She's down and finished, and now it's Eddie Monster v Royce. Eddie Monster has a shotgun and is making way in towards that building. You can hear it blasting at the top of the staircase. Royce up top, Eddie down below. Royce jumped out the balcony and Eddie didn't hear him. Royce is off. He's making a break for it. Eddie has no idea. He's now realizing that he's no longer in this house and has lost him. This could be big. Royce could make something come from this. May, meanwhile, and Diesel are still in Pachinki off at a distance, but somehow May has taken damage. I'm not sure, actually. May have landed on a roof and had to jump off, but we'll see. Royce and Eddie still looting through these buildings. Let's have a look and see if we can find Linden. He did spawn down on that southern coast with a couple of other building players, and they're actually all headed across into the island towards the military base. So, okay. Actually staying away from people for a little while. Rhino Q and Linden split up a lot. DJ Pernicus there has got a lot of health missing, but not the aggression we expected from Linden to begin with. Up in Lipovka again, as Doc started to unleash his train of violence and momentum. Or are they actually just living happily as friends with Manpons and Dreaded Cone?
But there's a big change. Start of the round, first circle, already 5 people died.
Yes.
Compared to EU.
Yeah, compared to EU in the first game, first circle had no one dead until about 3 or 4 circles in. Manpons and Dreaded Cone are alone in Lipovka right now, if I look at that again. Where did... Tim and Doc have got a car and driven away. Tim and Doc driven down to Milta Power. The aggression was not there. They did not go for the kills. They have driven to safety and have gone to loot elsewhere. That's not the Doc we wanted to see. What is the strategy? Let's wait and see. So, as they continue to loot down this end, we also saw Viz and Smack driving hardcore up the northern edge of the island to go for a little bit more loot. A couple of players at the sniper range. We have players over in Jockey, actually. We talked about in EU how that is a not very popular spawn for a whole because it's so out and remote. There's no vehicle spawns. It's tough to get to. But up there in the top left, we do have Mark Strom and friends looting Jockey already.
It's a pretty safe place to go because nobody usually goes there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the unpopularity or unpopular opinion people have of it is helping make it viable and safe for a lot. Meanwhile, Jericho and Smitty now, two more of the more silly players we have in the mix, are on the prowl. They've got weapons, they've got a Dacier, and they are looking for fights to take. They're being shot at from inside this farm building at the moment. No serious damage being dealt just yet, but now that they know there are players in there, we may see something from them shortly. Meanwhile, a few more players are starting to gear themselves up, and we do have a lot of weapons in play. Pachinki has quietened down a bit more. Edimonster and Roy's just looting buildings next door to one another without really conflicting, and May and Diesel are still just happily up the other end of the town, gearing themselves up. Meanwhile, Bikeman and Baru, despite Bikeman's dreams of dying relatively quickly and observing and shoutcasting the game himself, are actually in a pretty safe spot with a lot of loot to play with. This is not a bad option for early loot, and if you head a little bit to the west from here, there's another big open group of buildings which rarely get looted from the start. Across the big open field to the east, however, and over towards the ruins, Darkness and Bongi from the Two Angry Gamers are looting this location. It's something which people, when the game first came out, used a lot. It was like, oh, the ruins, there's loads of great loot in the ruins. But the more people played, the less people went there because of how much running around has to be done to find and really gather all the loot that's in here.
It's not just running around, it's fighting in the ruins. It's difficult itself because it's pretty flat area and there's a lot of walls, a lot of small corners, so it's not like a house where you just go in and hope there's nobody there. There's potentially many spots that you need to scan when you all go from one area to another in ruins.
Alright. A sniper named G and Sexy Hexy here have Halifax very close by. Halifax's team, I believe, is just south of us on the camera, very split from his teammate. So Halifax has got to be careful to not get downed here. There you go. Sequisha is on his way over now to support. Looking from the way they play, it seems that everyone knows everyone's here right now. Sequisha is looking from a distance. Sexy Hexy is, I think, up on the roof. Yeah, he's up on the roof having a look down. But Halifax is definitely tracking sniper named G using, if nothing else, audio. Does hear him move out now and has left that building himself. I'm not sure he's aware Sexy's over this other side of the road because he has an angle on Halifax's position from here. He may have been spotted now. Halifax moving down towards the edge of the fence. They're actually both blind. They've both had an opportunity to see the other in clear day there, but end up just running in opposite directions from the other. So Halifax regrouping with Sequisha a little bit. Sexy Hexy now back out on the road. Sequisha's right out in the open on the far end of that. I do think Sexy Hexy spotted him that time. He ducked straight back into cover and is now third-personing over the wall to watch it. He's looking for an angle out towards Halifax. Unsure about the shots. Will start taking them. Does land one round, but then Halifax gets into safety and cover at the far end of the town. Now we'll watch and see how they play, because both these players, or both these teams rather, are outside the circle from here, so they do have to make their way to safety shortly. Sexy Hexy has a car up the north edge by where they first saw him. Sequisha and Halifax, though, pinned inside this barn at the moment, do know that these two have to go past them to get to safety themselves. Oh.
You have to start moving pretty soon.
Ooh, Miss May's finished off Eddie. So after all that stuff between Edimonster, Lexi, and Punjistick and Roids, May comes out of the looting in Pachinki with a kill onto Edimonster. So that means Roids is still running around somewhere, but now he knows he's got extra company. Sniper named G flanking around to the east side of this barn as Halifax comes out and does actually expose himself to an angle here for Sniper. See if he can live up to his name and land that headshot he needs. He's not going to take the shots yet. I think he's probably waiting for his teammate to come to a slightly more supportive position because Sexy Hexy is a long way back at the moment. The blue is on its way though, so this engagement won't take that much longer before they all start taking damage from the electricity. So yeah, Sexy's bringing the blue across, the car across, the Dacier over, and that will be their ticket to safety as and when they decide it's time to end this fight. Halifax and Sequisha are still unsure about where these two are, have a suspicion and are using it to escape towards the east. So I do think they will have made it out alive here. They have a long way to run, but they are completely covered from the position of Sexy Hexy and Sniper, so they won't even know they're gone yet. So moving on from them, Smitty and Jericho still driving around looking for things. They've gone a complete opposite side of the map to where we last saw them. Summit and Josh were around here last time I saw them on the map. Not sure where they've headed off to now. They are just down to the southwest. They are still just running around safe and open. Below them, Akili Kapowski and Stevo driving towards the white circle. This is something else we're seeing here from North America we didn't see from Europe, is that people are getting to these white circles much quicker. Here is these ruins fights you talked about. Darkness and Bongi have been in here for a while now. John Sandman and Phantom have come in to challenge the territory. Well, Darkness has good cover here, but John has just as strong over in those boxes on the far side. But up on the hillside is Bongi, and he has a great angle to take down Phantom, but John will trade him straight back, so there's a downed player now on either side. John Sandman versus Darkness 429 now. Who will come out on top? Darkness has a good position to watch the movement of John, but he didn't catch John crossing over to his teammate, and John is now beginning a revive on Phantom. The same thing cannot be said for Darkness on Bongi. Bongi is trying to crawl down to get to Darkness. It's going to take him a little bit longer, and it's a little bit of a more dangerous route to take as well, as he could get stuck in some of these rocks.
Yeah, maybe he cannot cross now.
Yeah, it looks like he's stuck just out and around that corner where he was. Maybe Darkness is too.
Oh.
So, we'll see. Nope. There we go. Okay, so Phantom Ace is back up on his feet. John revived him, and now he's looking to heal on up. Bongi, though, after finding a way to crawl over the rocks towards Darkness, is picked off from a distance by John. So, he couldn't be revived at all. We'll leave that there and hope the Darkness can get back into working order soon. Meanwhile, Linden FPS is knocked out by DJ Pernicus on the island. DJ Pernicus is now fighting Rhino, the only remaining teammate that Linden has. He's got an angle on him from the top of the hillside. Linden, I believe, is getting revived now from Rhino. The blue is closing in quickly, but remember, it's not a lot of damage this time round. Rhino is taking damage here from DJ. He's not able to get the revive off onto Linden. They're trying to get to a more covered position. But from the angle and from the height that DJ Pernicus has here, there's not much cover they can use. And as I said, they're in the blue. He himself is on the edge of it, but we'll see. Meanwhile, Royds is knocked out and finished off Miss Mace. Now Diesel is alone without a teammate in and around Pachinki. Rhino is still under fire here from DJ Pernicus. He's looking to try and grab them, but the revive will complete on Linden this time round. Question is, can he stay up? Nope, straight back down again. That was what I thought. And still in danger. Remember, the more you get down, the faster you bleed out. And now Rhino's helmet is popped off. That level 2 helmet, just enough to keep him alive, but no longer will it block any more rounds as it's gone. Linden, you can see, not only is he bleeding out faster, being down twice, he's in the blue, which means his health is ticking away and he will fall. John Sandman has just finished off. Darkness over on the ruins. And there is Linden falling. Rhino healing up and looting his teammate as quickly as he can. DJ Pernicus still holding on the edge of the blue. He knows he's got the time for this. He's got Rhino pinned. He can hold firm. Let's have a look at... Oh, no. Rhino makes a rake for it. Puts his weapons away to get as fast as possible and is in to a little bit more cover. It's just going to keep making a break across the military base to try and get around to a better flanks position. Now, he may have lots of meds from Linden, which will help him do this, but even more risky is he's got to then get to the follow-up circle, even if he can get past DJ Pernicus here. Let's have a look at the map and see where that next circle is. And yeah, for these two on the island, it's a long way to go. So, in Pachinki, things are getting a bit busier. Despite May falling down, Diesel falling down, Royds is still around, and they've been gained Josh OG and Summit on the edge of town now. So, Diesel and Royds, well, Royds is playing Assassin's Creed. Diesel is hiding in a nearby building and is a little bit pinned with just an Uzi in his hand. As Summit and Josh are in that 3-story building overwatching the fields to the south. So, yeah, Diesel happy to just stay in his house. He likes it here. He's okay. Meanwhile, where are Doc and Tim? There's some health that's been taken off down towards the southeast there. Some players that aren't full here. Doc and Tim there down towards the southeast, actually miles away from everyone. Lipovka still has a pair of players tucked on inside. Up towards the north, we do see Halifax and Sequisha now have ducked away and made it out of the engagements up there, while Anthony and Grims have ultimately been pretty quiet so far in this first game. But that's kind of what we expected. They are quiet in the start. They do loot a lot. They go for these crates and grab them, and then they'll sit back and take long-range kills all over. Baru and Bikeman have been in that same group of buildings the entire game so far. Shorty, Lyric running just to the white circle from the north at the moment. Sexy Hexy and Sniper Energy finally leaving the area of Severny in those towns after waiting up there for a long time. Going to come down towards the south of these pairings. Not sure they have any idea the others are there. It's a long way to see. Meanwhile, Grims and Anthony did just drive past the combination of Bikeman. Fake Uniform and Deathridge firing onto the backside of Smitty and Jericho here, who have swapped from their Dacia into a buggy, and well, Smitty's paying the price for it as he's taken 2 shots in the back. Meanwhile, Kuda has knocked out Wish with an SKS, Wish playing with Pocket, running around somewhere up towards the north. They are just above Roshok here. Wish in one building, Pocket in the other, but Wish being down means Pocket's got to get across there, and Kuda and Markstrom have a really strong position for covering her cross. She's going to have a tough time getting across there to try and pick Wish up without taking serious damage, and with only a Vector in hand, she's at a bit too long of a range to deal with this. Does start to make the move across. Jericho has finished off Phantom Ace actually. Yes, I know Jericho and Smitty are fighting John Sandman and Phantom, and while Phantom is dead, it's Jericho versus John, and John comes out on top. Now, Kuda pushing up. He knows that Pocket managed to get across the gap. You can still see downed Wish inside. Pocket is hiding around the corner. Kuda can't quite see her from here. She can't see him either. Meanwhile, Kuda's teammate is close by and will be there to trade as they're both behind the same van right now, looking for the opportunity. Wish is going to bleed out any second here if Pocket doesn't make a move. She's gone over the edge, and she's actually just going to leave Wish to die. So they're going to let that in, bait it in, and now Kuda and Markstorm in the building. Pocket might be able to pick them off when they come out and come in this direction, but instead she's deciding to flank a little bit more around to the right and maybe get an angle on them when they come out onto the roof.
Actually, she had a Vector, so at this range, that's a big advantage over ARs.
Okay. So let's see if she can land enough rounds to make it count. She has Suppressor on it. Not going to keep her position too much of a secret at this sort of range, though. The circle is once again closing in. There you go. You can see heads picking up over the edge there as Pocket just watches for them. See where the next circle ends up as to whether it'll help her and whether they will jump into her sightline or not. Meanwhile, Rhino is safely off the island. DJ Pernick is off right to the eastern side despite playing towards that western bridge to begin with. Rhino over the western bridge comes on in, but Richard Hammer and friends are there right on the other side of the bridge waiting for him. Summit and Josh still hiding in the buildings of Pachinki, holding firm and watching around them. So meanwhile, Anthony and Grims are flanking up behind John Sandman. John down the far side of this hill. I'm not sure if he knows they're here. They definitely caught a glimpse of him and are looking in that direction. Grims has spotted him, and what a surprise! He's holding an AWM from a crate, and John Sandman is no more. There it is. 1 round to the head. John Sandman falls. There's a lot of loot on that body. John's picked up a lot of kills in the last few moments, so we'll see what they can gather from this. They're safe to loot it for a while. There's a lot of cover around here and not many players nearby. Meanwhile, though, over to the east of them, that group of buildings still has Bikeman and Baru in it, and 2 other players have joined them. But they have to move from there as they head towards the circle in a moment's time with everyone from the rest of the map. Summit just knocked out Josh OG with an AKM headshot, and then kills Josh. What?
What just happened?
I don't know, but alright. Summit and Josh have gone mutinous. We'll see what the deal with that is later on. Moving on. Anthony and Grims still out in the open. Here we go. Baru and Bikeman in this complex building have Gold Glove and Fairlight with them. They are stalking Baru, who is just inside this building on the other side of the window, to Gold Glove. Baru comes on out, turns his backside to Gold Glove, who's going to push on underneath, but it's not needed as Fairlight is picked off. Baru on his own and is now pushing for Bikeman. Cinematic Michael Bay camera as we follow on the weapon of Gold Glove. Fairlight does finish Bikeman off around the backside of their building. Apparently Josh OG blue screened, so that's why Summit did it. He wanted the loot. So that is that done. So, we'll get him back in for the next game. HG Justin and Richard Hammer, then bottom of this hill now have Roids firing at them from the top of the enfilade, and he will pick off Justin, leaving Richard Hammer in a 1v1. He's healing up a little way, and while Roids has a stronger position at the moment, especially as they're both pinned behind the same tree, Roids can flank around the corner and tag up the downed players a little bit more, stopping the revive, but he still needs to get past them to get to the circle. So, looking for another angle on these players behind the tree. Roids will spot one running out aggressively towards his old position. Justin's still low health behind the tree. He's going to be healing up while Richard pushes forward. He's directly underneath Roids here. The ump is going to be very strong at this range, but Roids is going to peek around the top first. Richard looks for it and reacts for it. Does get a couple of shots off towards the top of Roids, but the re-peek is there. And this time Roids can finish him off. Oh. No, he can't! Justin peeks out just in time to save Richard. Nice. Very nice shot indeed. And he's got time to sprint across and get the revive out before Richard bleeds. Clutch save from HG Justin, but it may be short-lived as Julia and Timac are coming closely behind them in a buggy. If they catch these two on the edge of that hillside, they do not have a lot of health. But it looks like Julia and Timac... No, okay, they just used it to turn. They didn't spot them. They're going to continue to the next circle. Meanwhile, Shorty has taken out Sexy Hexy as Steve Live finishes off Thadrius here in Yasnaya. Killy is super low health, but she does get to Steve-O and some cover to try and hide. Mr. Moon, on the other side of the building to them, has a double barrel shotgun in hand. In fact, he may be inside, actually. Yeah, he's inside on the second floor. Steve-O and Killy have healed up and are now circling around and looking for him. He does throw a Molotov, I believe that was on the staircase to keep himself safe from being pushed, and well, it will do just that for a little while. But as the circle hits the wipe, we're going to find another circle to move in on. We're only at 42 alive, which despite the slightly more aggressive start here in North America, isn't actually that quick either. 42 alive is still a lot left for this size, as Monty and Satalizer shut down Julia and Timac as soon as they got out of their buggy. There's a lot of players outside in the blue. Laurenane and Aver. Diesel is running just in front of Aver. Gold Glove and Fairlight driving from where they were deep into the white circle, but there are players already waiting for them here in the middle of the field. It's Ninja and his Angry Pug, and the shots are rattling off the car. Fairlight is low health. They've lost a tire, so that's going to make it harder to turn. And there's not a lot of health on Gold Glove either anymore, so they keep going, and their car is taking more and more punishment. They do get safely out of range of Angry Pug and Ninja, but they are struggling. They are lucky they've got over to this edge, which is actually surprisingly empty, and should be able to heal up. Meanwhile, Ava and Laurenane are just about getting into the circle. They have Diesel right in front of them. I don't know whether they've spotted him or not. He is running directly away from Renee. Yeah, Ava spotted him. She stops and she's looking to shoot, but she needs to heal up first. She made sure she's hidden behind the tree. Sees him running off in a distance. Has finished that first aid kit and is now beelining to chase it. So we'll see whether she can track Diesel down. Renee, meanwhile, made it into the circle on her left and has healed up as well. And will then join the hunt. They are all running towards Pudado and Loyal Patriot, who are also just about to make their way inside the circle from outside. We'll also need to stop and heal up slightly, and Diesel may catch them in the act of that. He's coming over the edge of the hillside here. He sees Pudado, but he's about to find Curvy Llama and Gassy Mexican driving straight through them all with a buggy of their own. They will not stop. There we go. Loyal Patriot does get down, but Diesel will be picked off from behind by Ava before he can finish it. HC Justin's actually the man that downed Loyal Patriot. So while Diesel was trying to stay hidden from these two, Ava caught up with him. Athos 19 has now finished off Monty and Satalizer as a combo for a duo, and we're starting to whittle our way through all the remaining players. Pudado comes over and starts the revive on his teammate, but Ava's still behind him, looting the body of Diesel as the blue starts to come in. She's going to go and catch up with her teammate Renee in just a moment, who's already running down the hillside, running towards, again, Curvy Llama and Gassy Mexican. Justin and Richard Hammer coming on the edge side. Ezekiel out in the field on his own, has Steve-O and Killy Kapowski driving straight past him at the moment, but keeping himself hidden, keeping his position secret for now, until Justin and Richard are firing down on this pairing now, who are trying to find a safe place to stop. They are inside the circle and do have this compound to try and cover them from the many advancing players. They are about to get pushed from many different angles. Little Patriot killing off Ava in the background as Badado finishes off Renee, so that combination is dead, and the attack that's coming towards Steve-O and Killy here has just got a little bit weaker. But Justin and Richard are into the building, trying to jump through the windows and look for an opening. Justin gets inside and does get the down onto Killy Kapowski. Steve-O's still in here. They're pushing a bit deeper through. Richard finishes off Steve-O really quickly inside that toilet. And it is a good squad wipe very quickly from this pairing. No hanging around. 27 alive as we lose our first players to circle deaths. Athos now running quickly from where it is. Ezekiel still behind that same rock, has I believe just spotted Athos there. Dr. Disrespect shows up now, knocking out Manpons with a frag grenade as Ezekiel is trying to find an angle here on Athos. Manpons, Tim, Dr. Disrespect fighting in this compound in the middle of the field. Manpons down outside the circle, and while the Doc tries a flying shot around the corner, he actually gets down mid-flight, but Tim is there to save the day and avenge him. Shorty has knocked out Grims and finished Grims as Viz has picked off a long-range kill on Dr. Disrespect. Doc, while being downed, was finished off by Viz from a distance. Shorty getting revived now by Lyric as they've both killed off Anthony and Grims. Lyric getting one and Shorty getting the other. We're starting to get down to the top 20. Top 10 teams now. Rhino alone up on this hillside. Sniper named G on the other side of the road has Markstrom and Kuda pinned between these two solo players. Inside another compound which is once again outside the circle. Curvy Llama Gassy Mexican coming up behind Ezekiel out in the field. Ezekiel has A plus D there too, and they are now starting to fire onto them from a distance. Gassy Mexican taking a little bit of damage, and they also have to be aware that the circle's coming in 25 seconds, and they're in the disadvantageous position here. But the players they're firing on have moved to the circle instead. Aggressively moving up, Ezekiel does not have a lot of health, and he's very much out in the open here. Richard Hammer and Justin still in that compound where they killed Killy and Steve-O. We'll have seen that happen, and we'll have a sightline owned to it when they feel safe. Sniper named G down has become a known position for the two players in the compound. Summit turns to run and shot in the back by Rhino Q. He ran up to the top of the hillside, spotted him, and was looking to run away without getting detected, but Rhino saw him. Rhino was aware of it. Summit falls. Viz finished off Tim the Tapman now, so he's taken out both players in that combination of Tim and Doc from these yellow houses in the middle of the open play area. Rhino now on top of this hillside is looking for a couple more shots on the players coming up from the compound. He does tag one, but then the other will peek him, and he's very low, but can't quite finish off Markstrom, as he does then fall on his own, knocking out team by team. Lyric taking down Fairlight now as Kuda takes down Sniper named G as a flank comes in. Athos finished off Richard Hammer and Hasty Justin, and we are down to the final few. 9 players left alive. Viz and Smack inside this little compound here at the top of the circle have Mr. Moon holding a shotgun right outside the door. He's looking to aggressively pressure into the windows. None of these buildings are completely in the circle here, so they will all have to move regardless of the outcome of this fight. Moon at the window does catch a glimpse of a backpack in that doorway, but the backpack saw him as well. They are looking to shake him out of this. They know they have to come on out. Teasing the front door. Spraying a couple of shots through the window. He's still got the shotgun in hand. More tags onto the backside of Mr. Moon. He uses one of his 2 shotgun shells. Looks for a reload. Comes to a backside window. Beers and Smack have him on the run. They do come outside the front door. They're aware of this. They push him around the backside. And now have that 2v1 positioning advantage. You see him on the corner. And it's a quick drop shot from Smack to take down Mr. Moon. Viz and Smack stay alive to live to fight for another circle. They move to the next house over and are safe because of it. Lyric and Shorty in the compound to their south. Kuda and Markstrom heard all that shooting and are now pushing towards the buildings from the west side. They know which house these two are going to be in. There's only one they can be in and be safe. So they are looking at that with this good cover of the hillside to keep them safe. Both of these two pairs in the circle. No one else currently there. Lyric and Shorty out in the fields to the south. Will have to push towards Viz and Smack to get themselves in. As they are coming now. Viz and Smack then about to get sandwiched between 2 pairs. Shorty and Lyric don't know what house these two are in. Kuda and Markstrom do. Ezekiel and Atheos, though, are about to flank onto Markstrom and Kuda. 4 duos left, and Ezekiel is the first man to take damage, and it is coming from Markstrom and Kuda. He does get downed by Kuda himself, and then he's going to get finished off. Nope, Markstrom misses car shot on the down player. Atheos, though, has got himself behind the rock and is throwing grenades. They are going to finish him off this time over, make sure there's no revives going through as the circle has closed right in. Atheos is now low, and Kuda will finish him down to meaning only 3 pairs left. Lyric and Shorty repositioned away from Viz and Smack and have now got possibly the strongest position left in the game. They are closest to the next circle. The other 2 players know exactly where each other are. No one knows where Shorty and Lyric are hiding. Markstrom keeping an eye with his car on those houses, looking for Viz and Smack to make a move out of it. They do have a Dacia right next to them. Getting into that would be suicide right now, because of the size of this circle, you don't have the acceleration to get anywhere safely. You'll be stuck in a very slow-moving vehicle. They're using these ACOGs to fire down towards the house. Viz and Smack are firing up towards the hillside. The shots are rattling back and forth from either player. No one landing serious harm yet. 30 seconds for the next circle to come through. Viz and Smack know they have to move soon and are making that shape now. Viz takes a lot. Smack's taken 1 tag as well, and as he moves around that edge of the circle, he's going to be on the right-hand side of Shorty and Lyric. Viz game gets dropped by Markstrom from the top of the hill with that Car 98, so it's all on Smack. He cannot go back and revive Viz now. There's no saving that, but he has knocked out Shorty with his own AKM. Markstrom and Kuda, the only 2 left standing, push in towards the circle from the north side. Lyric is looking up over the edge this way, but has to be aware of Smack down below him as well. Has the car and the rock. This is a good combination of cover and a tree just next to it as well, but it's outside the circle. Smack healing up on the edge of the circle himself, pushing quickly up towards where Lyric is. Lyric knows that these players up and above him, is looking that direction. Markstrom has got eyes on Lyric and is looking down the hill. He's very, very low as Smack pushes from behind, but Lyric takes Smack down, guaranteeing himself at least 2nd place. He is very close to the edge of the circle. Markstrom and Kuda are right on the top, but Lyric's safe for now. He's healing up, and all these players have to move out into the open for the final play zone. 50 seconds to go. Lyric against 2. He has the car for cover. Peeks on out and goes for a shot or 2. Markstrom's trying to fire underneath the car as he pushes around to the right-hand side. As he does so, he's taking a lot of damage. Still got that Car 98. Still got boosters running. Lyric still tucked down behind the car. He's getting tagged up. Has an M16 and an M4. Peeks around one side. Tags up Kuda. Goes again and will down him, but the car's going to blow!
Oh.
Markstrom, the last man left alive in the duo, blew up the Jeep to take Lyric down. And those kills are already showing a very different story here in North America to Europe. The top 4-5 teams got a lot of the kills. They were fighting for those positions. In Europe, a lot of the players that were in the higher positions did it in a safe fashion and just stayed alive as long as possible. These guys went out and they went for those kills and they fought for that position.
Oh yeah, you could see